Welcome to beautiful San Diego. It's gonna be great, people. Beautiful people, beautiful.
Like President Trump just said, we are here in San Diego. We're going to see a show tonight.
And the reason why we have these helmets on is because we're taking a quick tour on Segways, and you were just introduced to San Diego by our tour guide.
Yeah.
Or was it Donald Trump? I don't know. It could go either way. Anyway, we're here to see Love Never Dies at the Civic Theatre. Let's show you around San Diego first. So we just finished our tour of San Diego on the Segways. That was a blast.
Honestly, and shout out to our host, tour guide extraordinaire, Preston, and another side of San Diego. He was so awesome and super fun and told us so many things we never knew.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to walk through Balboa Park, told us all about the different things about it, but the one that stood out to me was that it's twice the size of Central Park in New York. Pretty crazy.
I can't even imagine it, because Central Park is so big to me. But I guess we went through on a Segway today, so I felt like I saw most of it.
Yeah, but we had a lot of fun with those guys. If you're ever in San Diego, check them out. And to get to the show, not Hamilton, but Love Never Dies.
Yeah, we are here at the Civic Theatre in San Diego to see Love Never Dies.
Pretty excited about seeing this one. I've been waiting many years. Really dove into the soundtrack, really liked some of the soundtrack. This show's seen some trouble though, and there's seen some reworks and some rewrites. So Love Never Dies is said to be the sequel of Phantom of the Opera. Other people say it's just the same characters but a different story. But instead of taking place in Paris, it takes place in New York City at Coney Island.
You know, and the other thing is Andrew Lloyd Webber has said that this show takes place, you know, a little over 10 years after Phantom of the Opera's events ended. So originally Andrew Lloyd Webber planned on opening Love Never Dies in 3 major cities all at once: Shanghai, the West End, and New York City.
It didn't go like that though. After a very brief run on the West End, it closed for some rewrites and didn't make it much longer after that. Though this show was originally supposed to open on Broadway as well as the West End at the same time, it never made its Broadway bow.
It didn't, even though he's been patiently waiting, but luckily now it is on tour all across the country, this new reworked version, several years after it finally
It's finally on tour. So this one's a little bit tough to check out. The soundtrack for it is a little bit different than what the actual production is now, but it's featuring some pretty awesome actors.
Forgive me if I slaughter their names, but Ramin Karimloo, love.
And Sierra Boggess,
yes,
is that who you say? We don't know how to say her last names, we're sorry, but we love you.
We love both of them, so I wish they were touring, but unfortunately they're not.
But check out the music for this one. It is a little bit different than the production. There's also a DVD of it, of the Melbourne cast, so you can check out both of those, and then hopefully one day it'll take a Broadway bow.
Yeah.
All right, so we made it to our seats. We here to see some Love Never Dies action. We bought these tickets a while ago, and I kind of forgot that we got front row.
Yeah, whoops. Happy mistake.
Happy mistake. We're excited for this. Props to San Diego Theater for having real playbills. Yeah.
Seriously.
It's showtime. All right, so we are here. We're gonna do our recap out here by the pool at our hotel. Not the same as the basement.
It's a little different look.
A little different, but palm trees, a little different change of scene. So, what'd you think of the show?
You know, I really enjoyed it. It was kind of refreshing to see something that I'd never seen before. I didn't really know the score. I knew one song, and so it was nice to kind of just go in completely not knowing anything about a storyline, and that's pretty rare for me.
Definitely. I've wanted to see this show for a really long time. People have said a lot about it, a lot of negative about it, some good about it. But I've always just wanted to see it staged for myself. It was one of those I really wanted to check off my list, and because it never really came to Broadway, there wasn't really a lot of opportunity for us to go. It's always just one that kind of eluded me. So it was fun to finally check that box and to see the show. what's your first good?
My first good thing, I really enjoyed the little boy who played Gustav. He honestly had the voice of an angel. Like, the tone was so clear, the pitch, like he sang so high. I don't know how the kid did it, but kudos, you're very talented.
Yeah, he was wonderful, that's for sure. I think my first is Phantom. The Phantom's voice was wonderful, and this wasn't your regular Phantom for me. We've seen Phantom a couple of times, I mean multiple Phantoms now. This guy had this opera background, and you could just hear it and feel it, and he was just effortless with the way that he sang these songs.
The other thing I liked was the circus freaks. Kind of a unique part of this show. There's all these characters at Coney Island, and I really loved kind of the choreography around the circus freaks. There's this character named Fleck, and the way that they would twist her and flip her over and pose her on people's shoulders, I really couldn't keep my eyes off of it, and it was really cool to watch.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for sure. I think my number 2 is the music. I really love the music from this show. Obviously there's some opportunity with it. Some of the songs, just fall flat for me, but for the most part, I love the melodies. There's just layer upon layer upon layer of melodies in this, and there's all these really cool inflections of all the past Phantom melodies as well. And so you kind of feel right at home, but you're in this new story as well. It's really interesting music.
Yeah, that's actually the next thing I was going to talk about was the music. I loved the familiarity of some of the old melodies that came in from Phantom of the Opera, but then I loved, to be honest, the one song that I knew before I came, Till I Hear You Sing Once More. That's what it's called. It was the very first song at the very beginning of the show, and honestly, I could have left the theater right then because it was such a great song, and the Phantom performed it so amazing. Beautiful, beautiful music.
He really did. He just owned that song. I mean, I'll always love the Ramin version, but I mean, he was really, really good. That brings me to my number 3. My number 3 for this was the set. The set was really interesting. Obviously, I mean, it's set at Coney Island. There's a lot of opportunity for this, random set with the, sideshow and all that, but I think they did some really interesting things. They had a center turntable, and they really brought this Phantasma area to life, and it was lit really well. There were some very unique choices with a lot of it, but it was a lot to fit onto a stage, and I think they did it well.
I really like that wooden roller coaster vibe they had going too. It was cool.
Yeah.
Well, that comes to opportunities. And for me, I am really not a huge opera fan, but I am one, I will see anything. I really love to see every type of musical theater, but if I have a choice to go see something like the Phantom of the Opera or something, a more modern piece, or I'm gonna choose something more modern, or even an older piece like Oklahoma. I really don't love the style of music, of the vibrato and everything of opera, and so that's really not really my flavor.
Yeah, it was tough in this one. A lot of the main dialogue points that kind of establish the story are done in this really over-the-top opera song, and it was tough to follow. I mean, I knew it because I'd listened to it before, but I know many of the people in the crowd were kind of, oh, what happened? What was this? And so I think if you're going to reveal that much plot point and that much detail about the story, there needs to be a little bit more understandable way to do it. And so, yeah, the opera for sure.
We had to have a conversation in the car on the way home where I was like, wait, what happened here? And he had to explain it because he knew it better, and it was because it was told through the opera.
Yeah, and that brings me to my opportunity. For me, my opportunity in this show is the story. But the story itself, there's a lot of inconsistencies, and the way that the storytelling is done is fairly strange. They didn't leave a lot to the imagination. They either just hit you with it, or they hit it in some opera song, but you can definitely tell that there has been some work on the story, and there's all these echoes of the way it used to be and the way that it could be and all this stuff. It's just really strange on the story. The story could definitely be tighter for me.
Well, and I don't know what the producers' plans are, but if they really do want to take it to Broadway, I think it's still missing some little piece. I don't know the answer, that's why I don't make the big bucks, but if they can figure out that one little piece of the story to make it connect better, I think that would help it get it to Broadway.
I think so too. It's the polish, really, and I think having a story that just flows, that anyone could go see and figure out, would really help that.
All right, so we've got a lot of fun things coming up for us. We're going to see Riverdance. That'll be really different for us. A new take.
That's definitely different for us.
What other shows?
Fun Home.
Fun Home, yeah.
and then just kicking things off at the opening night of Hamilton when we get home in Salt Lake City. And then we've got a little surprise in the works post Hamilton. And
so stay tuned to the vlog. We've got a lot of cool things coming up.
go ahead and drop us a like or hit the subscribe button here. We've got a lot more shows coming this summer.
Yeah, check it. It's right there.
Welcome to the Old Globe Theatre.